To change how I feel about you. So here's the deal.
That was that new edition song that didn't quite make it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna say, is he gonna sing "Can You Stand the Rain" or is he gonna break out "Candy Girl" next? Or
Damn, Molly, who are you asking? My point is, let's move on to the next one. So the question of this, am I the a-hole, is when is enough enough, even when it comes to your own child?
I'm a 39-year-old woman, and my daughter, who's 16, has had a sensitive stomach ever since she was a kid. There are certain foods that will upset her stomach to the point where she's unable to stop throwing up. We've seen countless doctors, but so far, nobody's been able to give us a clear answer. The only advice we keep getting is to identify all trigger foods and cut them from her diet. We have a pretty good idea of what those foods are: soda, carbonated drinks, chips, Cheetos, and other similar processed snacks. Anything oily, fried, and most sweets. Unfortunately, this is exactly the kind of stuff my daughter loves to eat the most. And as horrible as she feels after she has them, she still refuses to cut them from her diet, which in turn led to her spending a lot of time in the hospital during the past few years. When she was little, it was easier to keep all these foods away from her because I simply wouldn't buy them. But now that she's older, I can't always be there to check what she eats. She gets the greasy pizza at her school's cafeteria, she trades her lunch with her classmates, she goes out with her friends and stops to eat at KFC, and so on. And it always ends with her in the emergency room, crying and shaking because she can't stop throwing up. This was the case on Christmas Eve as well, when our whole family gathered at our place. And, of course, among the many dishes at our Christmas table were some of her main trigger foods like chips, soda, chocolate, and sweets. Now, mind you, these were far from the only foods available to her. We also had a variety of home-cooked traditional dishes on the table with ingredients that don't upset her stomach, like vegetables, meat, dairy, etc. All of them delicious and well-seasoned. My daughter herself says that she really likes most of these dishes. Despite this, my daughter chose to eat nothing but her trigger foods. I reminded her that they would make her feel awful, but she said that she didn't care because Christmas is only once a year and she just wants to live a little. Well, this ended with her violently throwing up in the ER a few hours later. She had to be hospitalized for a few days and only just got out of the hospital a few hours ago. And unlike all the previous times when something like this happened, this time I chose to spend my Christmas relaxing at home with the rest of our family and not in the hospital by my daughter's side. I kept in touch with her through calls and texts, and I told her that if she needed anything, I'd ask a family member to bring it to her, but I made it clear that I would not be visiting her during her stay. And, well, my daughter didn't take this too well. She cried every time we talked on the phone and begged me to come over and told me how horrible I was for abandoning her there all alone. Most of our family didn't take my side in this either, and during the past few days, I got called everything from a little extreme to downright cruel and heartless. Am I the bad guy, Red?
well, this is a tough one.
Well, if it's tough, I'll run at it. So first of all, I question this. There's some things that, I mean, it's too late to fix it now, in a way. But what the hell parenting style were you following here? Because either your child is kind of dumb, which is not probably the case, or they're so coddled that they just don't fully appreciate the situation, right? So there's some parenting issues here. But yeah, I get where she was trying to go with the tough love at the end, but there's a way to do it and there's a way not to do it, right? So you don't abandon the child. Like, you don't be like, well, I'm gonna send somebody else to bring you a sandwich. No, you still go see about your child. But this isn't the first time, second time, fifth time. This child is consistently put the family in this position and put herself in this position So you still got to go, but just don't be all doting and all that. Sit there with a sour face, have the conversations she don't want to have. I mean, she in the hospital, she can't go nowhere. Have the real conversation. Show her what money actually means, because she sounds like she's a teenager in high school. So does she even understand insurance? Does she understand the financial burden? Does she understand the damage being done to her body each time, that is cumulative and that is going to continue to affect her going forward? I seriously doubt it, because teenagers don't process that unless you put it in front of them. So I would say, are you the a-hole? Yes, at the end of the story, and possibly in not being more intentional about your parenting style, given the needs of your child. But yeah, that's where I would go. And then the child is just being a little butt.
Yeah, this is hard for me because as a type 1 diabetic, it's like as soon as you tell us we can't have XYZ, XYZ is exactly what we want. And when you deprive yourself of it, it makes you want it even more. So in that instance, because the food police are the most annoying people ever. I get sick and tired of hearing you can't eat that cake. Well, you can't either. One piece of cake is not gonna just lead to my detriment. Now, several pieces of cake, yes. If you see me eating 3 and 4 slices of cake, no, you should be like, Trey, no. But the food police, they are the most annoying people, period. So I understand the teenage girls plight, because you just want one day where you could just be free to eat whatever. I know it makes her sick. I know that. I get it. But I understand. I don't agree with her, but I understand where the teenage girl is coming from. But that parent, girl, that's a child. Stop giving her money so she can go to KFC. And I gotta say, can't believe I'm saying this again, but ditto to what Thea said. You don't just not visit your child in the hospital. You do say, hey, why you keep putting yourself here? These emergency bills are not free. It costs you, it would mean less if you would stop eating greasy foods until we can find out what's wrong with your stomach, because obviously she can't digest her food right. It's something with her digestive system going on that she just can't digest food right. So we're gonna avoid them foods. I'm not gonna give you any money to go at KFC or wherever it is. We're not gonna fry any foods. Everything's gonna be baked. Everything's gonna be not, we're gonna just eat foods that don't agitate your stomach. You're not getting any more money. You're not getting any more opportunities to do this.
You just hit on something that was super important, Tracy. Well, one other piece, like you said, sometimes you can't be 100% all the time, right? You can't be at the point where you're punishing yourself, so that actually makes you want what it is that you're punishing yourself with that much more, right? So kind of like my argument with people who are always trying to avoid politics and social awareness. Well, I just need a day off. That's fine if you were engaged. If you're not engaged, you always off. So shut the hell up. I don't have no feelings for you. This child is coming from like that part from me. Like they're never actually taking a day off. But now, one of the things you said really made me think. What is the family doing? Right? Because I get it. She is the one with celiac disease, Crohn's disease, whatever it might be, that is having these violent reactions to food. I get that. But as a family, you should shift your entire diet across the whole family to suit that. It shouldn't be that she's sitting there with a salad and you got some fried chicken. It shouldn't be that every once in a while you want to go get a piece of cake, but then you want to remind her why she can't have it. The family has to buy in. And it kind of sounds like when I listen to what you said, Tracy, and what the story thing, I'm not so sure the family's doing
They're
that
not. They probably
You know,
eating
it's
them
like,
fried foods and dipping it and having
yeah,
all that stuff, and then
they
they're like,
probably
"No,
living their normal life.
here's the baked chicken for you." But meanwhile, we're gonna eat this delicious deep fried chicken with the crust, and it's real crunchy when you eat it. And man, and then
Yeah,
we're gonna put some mashed potatoes
that's I
with
think
that
that's a big
brown, with
problem.
that good brown gravy on it. But you can't have none. Of
I
course she
got you
gonna.
some gluten free. I got you some gluten free chocolate cake, but we're gonna have some brownies over here though. You know, so yeah, she's gonna sneak. I mean, that's why. Yeah, so yeah, that part really.
You would think common sense would say to her, "Hey, this food makes me sick." Stop. But it don't work like that. Yeah, I'm telling you, it don't work like that. The foods that my doctor says don't eat these, them the main ones. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna eat this.
Who
I'm
you
gonna eat
telling?
this.
I don't have any dietary issues, like no health issues like that. But I look in the mirror and be like, boy, you done picked up some weight, and then go straight to Chipotle. So
Or church's chicken. Is your show say something?
Oh, y'all done?
Yes.
Oh, okay. The family is kind of an a-hole, and I kind of honestly think that because you literally had stuff that you know that she could eat
At the function.
at the at the party or whatever it is that you was having. I will give you that. Now, here is me being the bad guy. I ain't coming to the hospital.
Well, we knew figured that part.
And here's the reason why. One, I need you to, in your heart of hearts, young lady, ask yourself, why are you crying because I'm not there? Because I've been there several times for the exact same reason that you keep sabotaging yourself. So why are you crying because I'm not there now? Because obviously you have no problem not only putting me out of my way of doing things, and that's me being selfish. That's me being a selfish parent. I have to take off time off my job. I have to pay this hospital bill. I have to sit in this hospital twiddling my thumbs. And the most hurtful part of it, while sitting there watching my child suffer. Here is your dilemma. Why in the world do you enjoy suffering? And here's why I said exactly what I say. What was the reason she gave for eating the food at the party? Because this, I know it was a slip of the tongue. I'm not jumping on you, but I am going off of what you said. Because you said, no, it was Tracy. I'm sorry, Tracy. Why would you have that food when you knew she was going to sneak it? She didn't sneak it. The mom said, don't eat that. You know how it fits you. And what did the daughter come back with? It's Christmas. It's a special. I want to enjoy myself one time in my life. Sweetie, this ain't the one time in your life. This happened all damn year. And every time that you do it, you get sick.
But they
and you
are
get sick to the
but
point
keep
sabotaging
in
you go to
her.
the
mind,
hospital.
They didn't have to have all that greasy
I'm
food
not
at
putting that
that.
apart. I've already said they were a-holes for that. I'm sorry, but you are. That was really a freaking a-hole move. That's why not only do I think the family, but the people who sit there going, that's bad, you shouldn't do that, blah, 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 and everything else. I'm sorry, I'm always the person to push and go, but you not getting your ass up to go help either.
But Marlon,
well,
you
the
don't
thing I
know
was
what
gonna
it's.
say, Marlon, is remember. I'm sorry, Tracy. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Marlon, you do not know what it's like to be told what you cannot eat.
I kind of do, just not for it was a lifestyle, not a choice thing. So I kind of do, but I kind of don't
Yeah,
because
you can eat.
I
Yeah,
was
well,
a bodybuilder for a while, and anybody who's done bodybuilding for a while know that the stuff that you can't eat and the stuff that you can eat is on totally two different sides of the aisle. And the
Yeah,
stuff
but
that
it's
you can't eat is the nice stuff. Because, by the way, a cheat day there's no such thing, and it's disgusting. But again, Tracy, I'm not degrading anything that you said because that was a lifestyle that I chose,
yeah, nobody.
not something that I have to do.
Well, the point I was making is all of this. It age matters here. We're talking about a teenager, and scientifically, biologically, their brain doesn't work the same way, right? That's one. And then it's a teenager, so it's still a child. So I I kind of see the struggle here. I mean, it's like there's a need for tough love, right? They need to be able to actually see the wall, um, for them to decide that I need to do a course correction. But at the same time, they have to be taken care of as a child. So to not be there with my child is just, I just couldn't see that. Like that'd be like if my child, because all of this is is in a way is feeding an addiction. So she is addicted to surface level understanding here. She is addicted to wanting to have a normal life,
Yeah,
being a normal kid. And so when she's with her friends and everybody's hitting up Burger King, it's kind of hard as a teenager. They'd be like,
I'm gonna
ah,
order their salad.
I'm just gonna get some water, right? I'm just gonna get some water because the salad dressing upsets my stomach too, right? Now you got to explain your situation every time you go somewhere. Kids ain't, that's not how kids function. And so, and then what if it was a drug addiction, like the kid on painkillers or whatever, and they keep relapsing and going into something? Am I gonna stop coming because they keep putting themselves in there? Am I gonna treat it differently because it's food versus Oxycontin? When reality shows that food addiction is every bit as strong as many drugs. So it's like, it's just so hard. So many things, so many layers. But the one layer that I can't pull back from is my baby in a hospital and I'm not there. Now
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
then
be mad. Oh, I'm gonna be mad.
I'm gonna send
Oh
somebody
boy,
to
you
do
ain't
something
never
for you.
seen me.
She could at least
Right.
FaceTimed her. Dang.
Yeah. No, I mean,
And don't
now I
say,
might not sit in there all day every day, but I'm gonna be there. You know, I don't know. That part is that's
yeah,
the
this like
part with
she
the
took it to
parent
the
part that I'm
extreme
just like,
because
see,
she
I
didn't
can't
do
go
her
there.
job. Now her switching lunches at school. Okay, you can't do nothing about that. Cause I'm like, girl, you done. Why you gonna switch? You know what it's gonna happen. That's on you. But them family gatherings, oh nah. See, what we're gonna do is not have no fried food. We're not gonna have nothing that agitates my child's stomach. Everybody gonna be eating the same thing. Thank you very much. That's the way it's gonna work. You ain't gotta like it. Ain't nobody asking you to like it.
Okay, I ain't going.
I'm definitely going, and I'm not even a parent. Even I know to go. Now I'm gonna tell her while I'm there, hey, you keep on, keep on. You gonna be in here one time, you ain't gonna get to leave. Now, how about that?
Okay.
Yeah, I just wonder about the front end. And now I'm laying something on the story that's not shared in the story, but I'm just like, it's it's like delayed parenting. You know, when you're a little boy, you got a little boy, he's 2, 3 years old, and he run around acting fly and running up in the mouth and touching women and stuff like that. And you're like, he just being mannish. Ah, look at that boy. Hey, that boy over there,
That's
boy.
my boy right there.
Right? And you don't correct any of the behavior. You don't correct the fact that you have a 4-year-old that's cursing at people. You just think it's cute because it's saying it in the kid voice. Hey, that boy, he got a old soul and stuff like that. Or he's talking, or if he's not cursing, but he's just being mannish, as they say, mannish. And you just think it's cute. Or you got a teenage son, and every time you turn around, he got a new girl. And you be like, yeah, look at that boy, my boy a player, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, what is it is it about you or is it about that child? And are you preparing that child for the best version of themselves? It's like I see it so often. We celebrate the very behaviors that ultimately we expect them to grow out of or
Or
whatever.
you
Like
do
this
the
child,
worst. Yeah, they're not models of good eating health habits for that child. But like I said, you
yeah, this
can't.
child needed parenting.
She needed when they went to that family. Like I said, you can't do nothing about her exchanging lunches at school. Girl, that's just on you. I ain't gonna say just what you get, but basically that's what I'm
Well,
saying.
the thing you can do about that is, and it's a hard thing to do. I struggle with it even with my kids, but I do try to be deliberate about it. You have to empower your kids. You have to explain the why.
Like you
You
can't
have
have this
to.
because you're going to vomit.
This
But
is the
she knows
No, but
she's
you don't
gonna
phrase it
vomit.
that way.
I don't
You
I
can't
don't
phrase
I
it
don't
that way.
I don't parent. I don't parent that way. My mom taught me my parenting way. I ain't saying it's right. Everybody has their way of parenting. If it's working, do you. You know, that's all. I'm just telling you my way. My mom, when I was growing up, every time I asked her for something, frivolous, small, whatever. Of course, you know, when you're a kid, everything that you ask your parent is the most important freaking thing that you've ever asked your parent to do. But as an adult, you understand. My mom used to always say, what are you gonna do? What would you do if I wasn't here?" And as a kid, I used to look at her and go, "But you are here, so I don't understand what your point is." Until I got older, and what she was saying was, "What would you do if I wasn't here? If I was not here right now in front of you, I'm gone. What would you do?" Because you see, she's not saying what I need is not important. That's not what she's saying. What she is saying to me is what you need is important to you. So without me, you still need to find a way to do it. Now, granted, I'm not even saying that she would do that on stuff that I didn't know anything about, but she would do it on stuff of, hey, I showed you how to do this several times. Now you're still coming to me asking the same thing. So now what are you going to do if I wasn't here? Are you going to forget? You're not going to want to do it all of a sudden because I'm not helping you? That was her point. So I did my parenting that way. What are you going to do if I'm not here? So that's how I looked at this parent. Now I could go the back way of everything that she did wrong up at this point, but I'm concentrating on this question. She wasn't at the hospital. Now you're crying and mumbling and hee and boo-hooing and everything else because you're not here with me. So my question to the daughter would be, and what if she wasn't here, period? Are you still going to eat the same way you're going to eat? Because apparently we've already figured out the freaking family ain't going to come.
The ones that are
They've already
coming.
decided upon themselves that you need to go ahead and be there. So we're going to go ahead and knock that out. The question is going to be, sweetie, we know what is hurting you. And as a parent, you cannot feel pain of seeing your child in pain. At the same time, saying that, you don't understand the pain it sees when your child puts themselves in pain. On the knowledge that you are the safety net. Well, boo-boo, I hate to tell you, your safety net is a lot older than you, which means I ain't going to be here. There's going to be a day. I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to be a day when I can hold your hand. And there's not going to be a day when I can give you that hug. There's not going to be a day when I can wipe your tears away. There's not going to be a day when I can give you advice on stuff that you should already know because I've shown you, not because, I say that because you little toxic parents out there, you should already know this. Did you show them? No, shut the hell up. I'm talking about the ones that showed their child how to do certain things. That has always been my feeling on parenting. You need to stand on your own 2 feet, and I need to trust that you will not do something. This is funny because it didn't materialize to Foxy until the kids became teenagers. Every time my kids go out shopping, go out driving, go out everything else. The funny thing that I always tell my kids when they go out, okay, have fun. Make sure you don't do anything stupid. And Foxy in the beginning used to get mad at me about, don't say that. That's so derogatory. Don't say, until they became teenagers and they actually did start doing stupid things. And then she understood exactly what I was saying. Don't do anything stupid. The one thing that I always tell, it's not even kids, I tell adults this every time. It only takes one moment, one single moment to change the rest of your life. One moment. One little decision that you thought was just not that important, and it changes the rest of your life. For that little girl, that one moment could be you're going to go from sick and being hospitalized for a couple of hours to sick and a couple of days to sick and a couple of weeks, sick and a couple of months. I have to trust that you can stand on your own 2 feet, even at the age of 16. I cannot care for you more than you care for you. That's just the bottom line to it. There's not enough care that I can put in you that you can't put into yourself. It's virtually impossible. It's damn nearly impossible. I cannot care for you more than you care for you. So yeah, I'm sorry. I can't show up at the hospital. I need you as unfair and everything else. And I get it. I understand it. It's unfair. You shouldn't at this young age have to go through something like this. I get it. But okay, after we don't put all that stuff across, it's happening. Now what? It's happening. That's just the way it is. Now, while I'm here on this planet, sitting right in front of you, we're going to have to deal with this while I'm here. Because when I'm not here, no, that's the end of the sentence. I'm not here. So what are you going to do if I wasn't here? So that's why I gave the answer that I gave. Putting all the other stuff aside, your little a-hole is sitting there putting crack in front of a crackhead, sitting there saying, don't take that crack. You're being an a-hole. Stop that. Don't do that. Stop it. But if the girl is bold enough that I walk up to you and say, you can't have that, boo. You're going to get sick. And you already got the answer of YOLO. Okay. Actions have consequences. This is your consequence. Wasn't what you expected it to be, but it is. This is where we at. So that's why I gave the answer that I gave. Now, I'm not taking anything off that family. Y'all need to get from this point on. Excuse my language, Tracy. From this point on, you need to get your shit together. You can't eat the way you want to eat simply, and as unfair it is to you. You can't eat the way you want to eat because she can't eat the way she eats. Get your crap together. Yeah, it's unfair for her. It's going to be unfair for you too. Sorry, not sorry. Like Thea said, you can't have your fried chicken and collard greens and fat back and cornbread and whole baby, here's your salad. Nah, boo. We are family. We in this together. But Anyway, I'm just preaching now. So that was the reason I said what I said.